would you think of a Warren Sanders candidacy?
It would be awesome.
Do you care which one is president?
I would prefer Warren.
Yeah?
I'd like to see a woman president.
That could be interesting.
Yeah?
I think it is important that when we talk about now, we start thinking about how we make plans for the next step so we don't tear each other apart at this stage. So I think those are things important to start to consider. Yeah.
I think it's interesting to me that the two most progressive candidates are down here right now trying to vie for the attention of the delegates.
But I think we had this really cool unifying movement when the gentrification people came and things we all got behind that we could all equally support. I think that's really good to think about going forward. We have we make our fight now, but then when we make our fights, and there's gonna be a way for us to bring fight together afterwards.
What would you think of a Bernie Warren ticket?
Great. They're both great progressives. I love them both.
Okay.
And I support them both.
Okay.
And I think it's really important for all progressives to support each other.
You can't nominate two New Englanders on a ticket, and I think that being vice president would overshadow the amazing legacy that Elizabeth Warren can and should have as a United States senator. She has the best policy of anyone in the field. She does not have the best leadership, but she has the best policy, which means she has a long, bright future as a senator. Bernie needs either an African-American running mate or one from the Rust Belt. This is a basic electoral strategy.
I did a show last night with two Bernie delegates, African Americans. They don't like Kamala, but they think that it would be a winning ticket. What do you think?
I also do not like Kamala Harris in many aspects. I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of her policy, but that would be a winning ticket. I think that they could bring together, I think they could carry Arizona, and I think they could carry Georgia and possibly even Texas with that ticket. I think a Sanders-Harris ticket would be probably the best ticket that we could nominate.
I disagree.
But I do not like Kamala.
First of all, I don't think Bernie would ever run with Kamala Harris. I think that her policies are, in many ways, diametrically opposed to Bernie's platform. And I don't think that Bernie supporters would embrace Kamala Harris.
She would bring in California, she would bring in women, she would bring in African Americans, and she would bring in Hillbots.
I think honestly that would be a mistake because that's only thinking about the Democratic Party. When you vote in the general, you have to consider independents, and some of the people Bernie and people like Tulsi pull are Republicans and independents and libertarians, and those people would not vote for Kamala Harris. So I think that would really hurt Bernie, and I think a lot of people would feel betrayed. A lot of progressives who are purists would feel betrayed. Myself, I would not like it. I could take Elizabeth Warren, for instance. I think that would be okay. But honestly, Kamala Harris represents the literal opposite of everything he stands for, and it would just be something that people would feel betrayed, and I think it would kill the movement as far as what they believe in and what they could accomplish. So I get the whole practical public relations aspect of it. I don't think that's where we are. I've seen candidates since 2018 win as soon as they go hard left. Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, those are all results of going hard left. Those are all results of the Bernie movement, of being a democratic socialist. And if you are going to think that going to the right and picking a centrist is going to get America, then you don't understand the reasons why Donald Trump won in 2016. Donald Trump won not because the majority of America is racist, but Donald Trump won because a lot of Americans felt left behind. They're all hurting economically, and Bernie Sanders understands that, and that is one thing he gets criticized a lot because he talks about the economics of it and how working class white people were also hurting.
Let me interrupt you because that's what I thought right after the election myself. But then I read some studies, and apparently most of Donald Trump's voters were not working class. They were upper middle class, yes, upper income, but what they were not was highly educated. So they had money, but they didn't have education, and therefore they were, in fact, a lot of them were racist. And so what you said to me in response to it would work in the Democratic Party but not in the general, I really agree with that. The racists will come out in the general election, and the sexists will come out. Now, I love Tulsi. I love her policies. But for some reason, she's not getting traction. And I don't know if that's because the mainstream media is just really smearing her, probably even worse than Bernie. She needs to be more passionate in the way that she speaks. She's got a very even-toned, measured, yes, calming, It's like if she was my mother and telling me a bedtime story, it would put me to sleep. But you saw yesterday how Cory Booker, who is also another progressive, revved up the crowd. When you're speaking to a crowd of 3,000 people, you can't calmly and gently go through a list of your platform the way she did, which was very comprehensive and wonderful. You have to give stuff to, red meat to the base.
Right.
So what do you think about that? I mean, her style, not her substance.
Right. I think at the end of the day, her style is very practical, military, logical kind of thinking. And that is one thing I do like about her, because I do think she could remain calm. I see her as a great Secretary of State as well.
Or Defense, even better.
Secretary of Defense, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think she will be president someday, just based on her policies and the way she's actually got a lot of attention outside of here. Like in the media, in the independent media, she's gotten so much attention. She's got a lot on social media as far as Twitter goes and as far as YouTube goes. So I think she actually has a lot more grab and attention than people think. A lot of people who are Bernie supporters are telling me, I'm voting for Tulsi now, don't tell anyone, I don't want people to hate me. So it's kind of one of those things where I think as soon as the debates come out, she's going to build it up. I do agree with you, she doesn't have that whole Nina Turner thing. Nina Turner gets up out there and she'll like rev up a crowd and she'll be excited, and she doesn't have that. But I think policy-wise, she's amazing, and I think also she's going to work on that. I see her when she gets a little bit more emotional, and that's her thing. She tries not to get emotional, so it's kind of one of those things that could be a double-edged sword, so to speak, right? Because it does work for her in the sense of being very logical, practical, to the point, but it also works against her as far as, because the Democratic Party likes a lot of like platitudes and energy and to get a crowd all excited, and I think she could actually work on that.
Yes.
But as far as her substance goes, I think that's awesome, and I think this is her first run, and she's doing what she can, and I think she's exciting a lot of people. Yesterday at she had a meet and greet at a cafe, and she was able to get so many people that the place was so packed that they couldn't allow more people in. It was crazy. A lot of this isn't being reported. I did live stream that. I want to show that a lot of these progressive candidates, like a Tulsi, like the Mike Ravels, are actually getting people. And Yang is another one of those that's getting people, and he's supposed to be here today.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you very much. Fiorella Isabella from the Convo Couch.